This is the Hook Better Leads podcast.
And it's Tim Brown and not my co-host, but wouldn't that be fun? Patrick Shelton on today. How you doing, dude?
I'm great. I'm way too expensive to be your co-host.
I like that. Well, we're talking about video today because Patrick does a lot of video and has a ton of value here in this topic. So we're going to be talking about video marketing statistics to consider, but why video ads are better. A lot of people are trying to think whether they should spend the time and energy to try to get great videos. So what have you seen as kind of a trend the last couple years in regarding video ads? Like what have you seen? Like, has there been an uptick in people taking this seriously?
Good question. I mean, there's definitely an uptick. I don't think there's any doubt about that, right? Like that's been since 2011, early 2000, mid 2000s to now. It's like, video was here and now it's just up and to the right, right? Just like the Dow Jones. And now, so that's all good and grand. Like, yeah, more video, great. That also means a lot of noise, right? So just a lot of clutter and a lot of shit. Can we swear? A lot of shit.
Yes, you can swear.
Bombarding you. And I don't have the statistic. Well, maybe I do. Okay, I do. So you've got like this huge rise in video, and with that is a direct correlation to a huge rise in people skipping video, right?
Yeah.
So
what is that stat, by the way? Let's lead with that.
It's from CNBC. 65% of viewers skip an online video as soon as possible.
Huh.
So great. You just spent $100,000 or $1,000, right? $1,000 is a lot of money. $1,000 on your video campaign, whatever it looks like. And now you're getting people skipping it in 3 seconds. And they're just, and mind you, those first 3 seconds, they're looking at that little skip thing and like, God, I wish I could just skip it now. They're not even seeing your messaging. So that brings up a whole nother conversation. But yes, definitely a huge uptick in actual content being created, a huge uptick in noise, and conversely, a huge uptick in the human need to get past that as soon as possible and get annoyed by it. And that wanting to skip it is also that, like, that is negative brand.
Yeah.
Like you would have been better off not putting that video out there if it's being part of the noise, right? So a lot of people, I say, you don't want video, right? If you're not going to do it, like, don't be the guy that goes to Planet Fitness and just pays $20 or $10 a month every single month and never goes, right? Like, try and go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
No, that's good. And I want to talk, so we're going to go through some stats kind of quick here, and then we're going to talk about what's working on video ads and what Patrick and I both have strong opinions about what constitutes good video and how you can do that well. But we want to make sure you understand why, because by 2022, online videos will make up more than 82% of all consumer internet traffic, which is going to be 15 times higher than it was in 2017. 74% of B2B marketers say video converts better than any other type of content. And I won't even talk about usage, but I guess briefly, 3.8 times more people have increased using video ads. There's 432,000 hours of YouTube uploaded daily. 59% of business professionals feel that they can give. No, this is a strong take that I think is useful for people, which is it's not that people don't watch or can't watch long form content. It's that they need to be hooked in the first 3 to 10 seconds. So they're open to watching it if it's going to give them value. So you have to promise with something of value. You have to give specific things that they're going to get out of watching and listening to it. So that's why when I start a conversation on a podcast, I try to give them the title, the value proposition, everything quick. I assume they don't care about me. Sorry, Patrick, I assume they don't care about you. How are we going to make their life better in the next 30 minutes? So that's why we do that. That's why we try to give those value props up front as quickly as possible. And the same goes with your ads. Like if you're promising something quickly, with your video, if you're going to give them something of value, if you're telling them how you're going to make their life better, it matters. 49% of respondents said that they are more selective about the content they consume than 1 year ago. So with all that noise, we get more selective. And then two last stats. Brands using both still ads and video ads saw a 17% higher rate of conversions compared to brands using only still ads. And then according to Facebook platform, the Facebook to platform. So they have the most data out of anyone probably. And then Adspresso, which has a lot of data. It's kind of a they do have data as well. Almost 69% of marketers say video ads outperform image and plain text ads on Facebook. So that's anecdotal. That's from marketers saying, yes, we believe the rate of higher return. And that's a lot of it is those people are using, 22% of people say they're using video to gather info on brands. And so that's like that. You're not just converting, right? It's not you're gathering info. You have a lot more context. You can make a better decision about a purchase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot to unpack there, but I'll hit on that last thing first is like, and I'll wrap it into the going from video and photo and how that increases things. What'd you say, 17% or something? And
yeah, according to Facebook.
So what you see there is like, okay, we're not stupid as customers or as prospects or as, whatever, consumers. We're not stupid. Not everything fits into like a nice little, this video is not meant to be every single part of your customer journey, right?
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
one part of your customer journey. It's one value add amongst many value adds from a customer's point of view as they engage with like an industry or a specific company itself. Yeah. And to think video is, or photo for that matter, is the silver bullet to your marketing strategy is naive and worse, lazy, right?
Yeah.
So naturally you want to have that mix of still frames, of blogs, of video to carry that person through a customer journey and become an evangelicals and brag about you and share your anthem video, to their friends and talk about how great the smoothie company they drink every Saturday is. So so I think that balance of stills and motion is inherent when you think about it, and it's pretty easy too to like, great, I don't have to only do videos, right? That'd be a lot of videos, especially if you're a small, 10-person company. Like, not only is that a lot, it's a lot of money. So yes, slice it up, use stills, use customer testimonials, use whatever.
So let's get into what's working on videos and video ads. What are you seeing perform well? What are you seeing people do more of? How can they do better videos in 2021? And certainly people might listen to this or watch this later on, but in the next couple of years, what could people be doing better on their videos that they're not doing now? Like, I'm saying like comparable stuff to what you guys do. You do like commercial oriented stuff a lot, and like making better, like almost sales videos. And you can correct me on the vibe, but
yeah, no, you're okay.
What are people doing that you've seen work more lately?
Yeah, I think they've learned to know that video isn't a vacuum, right? So what works in other parts of your marketing strategy need to be incorporated into your video. So a video is not just, ooh, let me make a quick video. Not all video is equal. Not all content is equal. Not all entertainment is equal, right? Like, we all love Star Wars, but there's only a handful of people that are going to watch that rom-com on the Hallmark channel because frankly, it's garbage, but whatever.
Some people like those because they're bad on purpose. My wife watches them and I think she's ironically watching them.
Right. Yeah. I ironically watch them too, back to back. Yeah.
Yes.
So I can empathize with that. But so I think people have started to really understand that it's not all created equal. It needs to be quality. And what does quality look like from a video standpoint? Yeah, it can be pretty, right? Like naturally having a technical capabilities is a plus, right? However, there's a lot of technically right videos that are getting skipped. 65% of those videos, right, are getting skipped. And I guarantee a lot of them are really high quality videos. Great. High quality doesn't get people past 3 seconds. It needs to be, you need to have a punch. And when you give people something to actually engage with right out of the bat, and that can go good and bad. It can, just because people don't skip your video after 3 seconds doesn't mean you're home free. Like you can still do wrong by your brand messaging if it's not true to your brand and you're just doing some gimmick, right? So really being intentional with those 3 seconds and making sure that you're actually taking what you've learned from other aspects of your marketing, bringing it into your video, and frankly telling a story. Like if you can hit someone really impactfully and grab their attention for those first 3 seconds, let's say, 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, great. Now we have them. Now how do we keep them, right? So we all watch a lot of Netflix. Why do we watch a lot of Netflix? Because it's engaging, it's gripping. We care about it. Like I'm sure we all watched Queen's Gambit within like 48 hours. Right?
Oh, it was so good.
Oh, dude,
so
don't even
good.
get me started. I've spent like hours even at work talking about it. It's horrible.
It's good
but
stuff.
The reason is because it's quality characters, quality story, and every single business that I've ever interacted with, and I'm not an extremely like, I haven't been everywhere, I haven't met everybody, but everyone has a story, everyone has interesting aspects, everyone has differentiators, whether they're on the surface or you got to dig down, understand yourself, understand your customers, and hit people fast.
I love it. And to that hit people fast thing, that this Adspresso article also talked about the first 3 seconds of a video ad. That I don't know exactly what they're saying here, but 47% of its value for your brand, and in the first 10 seconds, your brand gets 74% of your ads value. And that basically, I think what they're trying to get at is those are, especially when you do video, like we do video ads on YouTube, and you see the graph of like fall off and that skip button, when it pops up, it goes boop, like, and it goes, you're trying to slow the boop. You're trying to slow the drop. So, you're trying to slow it by making it an interesting thing and making something people want to watch. But at the same time, those first we think of 7 seconds is a really important benchmark. What we're trying to see in there is we're trying to see the brand. I like a smiling face, like, right? A smiling face or something that catches people's attention. And we've kind of A/B testing 2 things right now. One with my wife and comforting messaging, and then like our dog in a cuddle, like a blanket, and is like, this is how good it feels. You know what I mean? Like, and then one of them is like more on the like almost like a problem oriented,
risk averse.
Yes. So we're A/B testing those right now. I'll tell you how it turns out, but it'll be an interesting step. But both of them have that brand quick, a smiling face, and both a little bit of problem oriented. I guess hers is like comforting the problem, and mine is a little bit more like hitting them on the face with the problem. And then here's the value prop in those first 10 seconds. And then it goes into imagery that would be useful for us, websites and all that. And both of them, though, you're really focused on those 10 seconds. I think it's funny, we do a lot of video, and it's a lot of it's conversational and having talks and stuff like that with this. And we don't really crank it out of the park yet, like even on our just YouTube, but it's a long, slow game. But the more I do long form conversational video and other types of video and like content focused stuff, the more I appreciate as well, the value of people's time. And and I personally, I might disagree with you a little bit. I think it's okay. I don't think we have to agree, but I might disagree with you a little bit on the beginning. I think it's okay that people are skipping ads. I think honestly,
Sure.
I don't think I've ever, maybe once or twice I've watched an ad all the way through, like eagerly. Cause it was like,
Mhm.
I guess it was really well targeted. And I'm like,
Which one was it? Yeah. Do
I
you
think
remember what
like it was like at a marketing agency owner, like these are 3 things that you could do to like get out of the rat race or something like that. It's like,
Gotcha.
you're tired. I know you're tired. Here's how I'm going to help you not be tired. And like, that was like the
Like,
value prop. And I was like,
wow.
yes.
Yeah,
You
as
know,
you're on
so
your
like,
4th cup of coffee. Yeah.
but it was like content. It was like, it was a good blend of content marketing in an ad. That was a good piece. Like they hit me with the problem quick. And then they said, this ad will help you
hmm
with a little bit of content around this. And then obviously they're selling their course or something alongside. But like, if you can make it a nice little blend of I think that's a thing that people will be doing more of, where they're going to give a little value, a little bit of content marketing focus value. Like here's 3 tips to try to be less tired this week or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That
That's a
would be
really good point.
useful to, yeah. I think that that's an opportunity for people like to do that blended approach.
And the way they get to that and the way that gets into your feed is it's not necessarily it's people like you, right? Like
Yeah.
it's people that know how to retarget. It's people that know how to use the data that they have to speak to their actual customers, right? So you're like, they've got a little Tim Brown avatar in their office, and they're like, we're talking to this guy, right? And they are, and that's why you watch the video. It's why I bought Manscaped, right? Like
I want that too. I want that too.
there you go.
They're good at targeting me too. They know where the bros are.
They know we're right where we are. We're hiding. We're not hiding. We're out in the open.
Yeah. They probably their demographic is probably just like 30 to 40-year-old dudes or something like that.
100%.
So that's a little easier for companies like that. But when you're B2B or you're doing these a little bit more, like you have a much smaller audience. Like our audience is 1% of 1%. It's so hard. And that's why what you were saying about like the blended approach to marketing and how you really have to have these different things going on. You have blog articles, you have these other things from my point of view, it's to create audiences in your ad, like the ad platforms. Like we have a lot of people on our website a day, and it's all for topics. It's not the exact perfect thing to get a conversion, but it's the exact perfect thing that people in the demographic are reading. And we know we're basically like creating an audience. So now we have a remarketing audience that we can go after in YouTube and Facebook ads. And
the
that's
long con.
The long con. Yeah, exactly. And so to be honest, like everything in your marketing performs better when you have good components. So if they have a good video, if we know, current resident Patrick and team have created an amazing video for a client, it's so much easier for us to do content marketing and to get a good result for their overall marketing. It's like each component and knowing that they have to work together, that they have to have kind of similar things. Something I've liked lately, and I'd love to hear your take on this, is I think it's really important this is going to sound simple, but I think it's profound, that your brand should have a point of view. And I think it's something that a lot of companies don't have. They don't intend to have. And if you intend to have it, that's the first step. And then it takes a little while to like build it with your team. But a point of view could be like, I think our industry is broken in this way, and it can be fixed with this different way of doing things. Like that's a point of view. And I think that there is a lot of opportunity for a lot of brands to formulate a strong point of view that actually goes against some of the industry, but makes a lot of sense to your customers. And that can be built into everything too, the content, the videos, the ads.
Yeah, 100%. I was having a conversation earlier today about point of view and how that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought up point of view, because it's one thing that not only as individuals we're so scared to have a point of view, right? Like God forbid you're the black sheep in the horde, right? Like people call on you and are like, hey, look at that weirdo. We at Current Resident, like we want to be weirdos, right? We want to be called the misfit or the round peg in the square hole, because then we're all alone and we've got like this big platform to scream from. Even though we're a small organization, we know exactly who we're talking to, right? We're talking to other weirdos, And just like you guys are talking to the 0.1 of 0.1%, like that's perfect. Now you can have a noiseless conversation, right? It's like you're at the, is it like I don't know where people wear those headphones and you're like able to talk to each other, but like a dance, what is it, like a noiseless dance party, right? Where you're both wearing headphones and you're listening to the same music. Everyone else is listening to a different song, but you guys are listening to the same song, you're dancing in the same rhythm. It's like that, right? So when you know the song, when you know the frequency you're on, when you know the person you're talking to, that point of view is your competitive advantage. So lean into that, lean into the uncomfort. Know that when people aren't saying the same thing as you, like that's okay. That means you're probably doing something right, unless it's, we don't be too stupid, but don't.
Yeah, but it also reminds you that some people will come to you and they're well-intentioned and they'll say, I don't know if that point of view is like, you might be alienating some of your audience. Like some people might say that, a consultant might say that, a very smart person that doesn't know your audience as well as you do,
right,
might say that. So you kind of got to watch for that too. You got to watch, you got to weed out, do these people understand our audience as well as us? And once you get that down, that audience down, and you have a point of view, you can have that silent dance party, and it's okay if some other people disagree. Like I love what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's like know thyself, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very difficult to say, and we're getting a little off topic, so I apologize.
It's okay. No, let's just go off topic because I think it's more natural and I think it's good.
Okay, perfect. Then I want to talk to you about investing in gold. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. This is a commercial for gold now.
Yeah, seed banks. No. So, when that this figurative consultant comes to you and says, we could really broaden our market reach and our industry penetration if we, broaden our scope, whatever. And, you got to think about that and understand that if we start changing our frequency, we're not now talking to our direct customer, right? Like now we're starting to like go back into the popular group a little bit. I'm all about metaphors. We're going back, and I'm crossing metaphors, but
I like it.
But we're going back into the popular group when in reality we wanted to be really focused on the goths. Like we were a goth kid.
I feel like I totally relate to these metaphors because this was like my life in high school. Like I wanted to be friends with the weirdos and I didn't care as much about the other people. And it's like a painful thing in high school where you can't figure out your identity or whatever.
Totally, man. I was a weirdo through and through, and I was like, man, those popular kids, they get it. They can stick handle. I went to Edina, so everyone played hockey, and I was like, wow, look at that guy. He can stick handle, and he's got all the friends.
You seem like an Edina guy.
I was very
cake. We call them cake eaters when I was younger.
Exactly. There's 50,000 people in this world that live in Edina that embrace the cake eater, and we win state championships in hockey. So.
Yeah, I'm totally. I frankly, I probably ultimately wish I could have been part of that. But anyways, I just we both have the same understanding of that role in Minnesota culture.
Yes, absolutely. And so when we start to tune that, we start to kind of lose what makes us special. And and being a smaller, you were saying $5 million kind of niche companies that we're talking to, when we start to change that, at least from that doesn't mean we're not accepting other people, right? That come to us. But what we're broadcasting out there is saying, this is who we are, this is what we believe, and if that resonates with you, perfect. If it doesn't, maybe we're not right for you, and that's okay. There's plenty of other people, but if you can lean into that point of view, and I think that goes for, I struggle with as an individual every day, know thyself, be true to yourself. And typically when you do that, as long as you're not a dickhead, for lack of a better term, it works pretty well.
And that's certainly one of those things, be a decent person, be ethical, be true to but then being true to yourself. We'll just round it out on this because we're off the video thing, but I think we're being human here. So it's good. when, like when we think about point of view, I think like I'm in therapy, right? As a human, I'm in therapy and
Big advocate of therapy.
yeah, I love therapy. My therapist talks about being authentic, but also to me, it's about self-esteem. Like I think about it in personal side. If you have self-esteem, you're okay to turn down the people that aren't the right fit.
Yes.
And trust me, the people that are the right fit are going to want to work with you more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
100%.
maybe that's not as big on the side of like some of the people listening to this podcast might be in home services or construction or something like that.
Sure.
But like, maybe you have a bigger audience, but like, especially B2B brands, we have to say it's okay if everyone's not the right fit. We're 1% of 1%. For us, it's elite growth oriented businesses. They're generally in the small side, but they're moving up. But self-esteem is like, there's got to be like a version for company self-esteem where you don't lower your prices. You don't make concessions. You don't pretend to be anything other than you are. Mm-hmm. And then the people that are supposed to get to you will get to you. And it's like, it goes from everything from the video that you make to that sales call where you say, hey, this is what we are. And you don't pull any punches. And to some people that's attractive. And to some people it's not.
It doesn't work out. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. And that's there is a type of like self-esteem for companies like that.
Yeah. Know your worth, right? Like if you're a roofing company and like, someone looks at a roof and says, okay, well, they're all roofs are created equal, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, maybe once they're up there, like, yeah, you're probably going to get a roof and it's probably going to work and it'll last you however many years roofs last. But what's the lead up, right? What's the interaction from that first call to the customer sending that final bill and getting a thank you later? Like, and what's that customer journey look like? And we're not talking about just a roof here. We're talking about like a partner in one of the largest purchases besides the house itself that a middle income family makes like in their lives. Yeah. So to think your only value is a shingle, right? Yeah. Is doing yourself a disservice.
And I think another thing,
just a roofer is a disservice.
And like you think about like if you're authentic, you say, and what if your thing is like we are only going to roof houses with the top quality materials. Like we could get half the price and it would be fine, and we could put on a roof, but our reputation is at stake here. We're not going to do that. We're only going to do the best stuff. And if we really care about our reputation, we're not really going to make concessions in 100%. The top quality and the top the materials and the top quality like implementation, right? So I think that goes for us as service providers, video, for us in marketing and other stuff, and then for roofers and anyone else who's doing this. Don't make too many concessions. Have self-esteem in your brand and what your value prop is, and understand experts in consultants and stuff like that only are trying to. They might have your best interests in mind, but they're not necessarily always. They don't have all the context that you have on your market. And that's super important to remember. And trust yourself. Mm-hmm. I'll end with trust yourself. Hey, Patrick, anything else you want to say? Could you give people just where they can find you online and if they can work with you, what your contact information is, et cetera?
Yeah, Patrick Shelton, current resident. Give us a call or jump on our website at currentresident.tv as if current resident, like you don't live at your house anymore and they send it to current resident. On Instagram, it's currentresident.tv. Yeah, hit us up.
You want to do just like the value prop, like who should come to you? Who's a great fit for you guys?
Sure. So we work with direct to agencies. So we partner with agencies a lot, working with Fortune 500 companies, along with direct to businesses, whether that be medium to large businesses. We're in Minneapolis, so we do a lot of healthcare. At the end of the day, know thyself. And if you start to, we say no a lot because people don't know themselves. And we say, before you call us, you got to know who you are, because I'm not going to just take your money.
Yeah.
Right. And because I can do that, but I don't want to do that. That doesn't do me any good. So
generally people that have some like clear brand story aspects to, they're already kind of into brand story, or they have something there.
They can at least tell me why they believe in what they do.
Yeah.
And, what separates them from everybody else.
That's awesome.
And if they
That's
don't
a
know
good
that,
mindset. Yeah.
There's other people that can do videos for us.
I like that. That's good. I appreciate that very much. Patrick, so currentresident.tv, check them out, follow them all over social media. If you're in the Minneapolis area, just like you're listening to this or watching this on social or something like that, connect with them. They just referred us business this week. What wonderful people. So be rooting for them. And I think that's everything. Appreciate you talking about this stuff today.
Yeah.
And video ads are better. Remember that. And the podcast is put on by Hook Agency, hookagency.com, Hook Agency all over social media. Join us next week for another episode. Thanks for joining, dude.
Tim, thanks a lot. Love, folks. Take
I
care.
appreciate it.